everyone. Welcome to Stinchfield. This week, we watch the stock market collapse as gas prices rise, of course. Both are a recipe for economic disaster. The American economy is in free fall. I hate to tell you it, but it is. And it all stems from Joe Biden's attack on investors of all kinds. This is a president that scares away investment into America. He forces investors to sit out. Biden's war on the so-called 1%, his war on energy, and his insistence to overregulate everything in an all-out quest for total government control is, of course, an investor's nightmare. It's why they sit out. There's not going to be any cash infused into this economy. Why would anyone invest in Joe Biden's crumbling America? They wouldn't. And the result is devastating. So how seriously does Team Biden take this looming disaster? Apparently, not seriously at all.
The Fed chair, the Federal Reserve is independent. We leave them to make their own policy decisions. We do not get involved in that. And nothing has changed on how we see the stock market. That's not something that we keep an eye on every day. So I'm not going to comment about that from here.
That's all you need to know right there. That's it. Your 401k, your retirement. Joe Biden doesn't give a damn about it. He and his team don't monitor the stock market. American families are literally watching their life savings disintegrate. And Joe Biden, his whole team, doesn't keep an eye on the markets. That's a disgrace. When Team Biden acts as flippantly as they do here, as your fortunes get wiped out, it tells me this is an intentional economic collapse. I have never seen a collapse unfold as slowly and as incrementally as it has during this administration. But the reality is, with just a few simple moves, Team Biden could right the ship, but they refused to do it. You see, we were energy independent before Joe Biden took over. We didn't need to import any oil under President Trump. Yet, his Secretary of Energy literally lies to the American people.
Let's just be clear about the reasons for these prices being elevated. It is because Russia was a great exporter of oil on a global market. And when countries like the United States and others rightfully said that we are not going to be funding Vladimir Putin's war and we're not going to accept any of those barrels, that pulled about 1.5 billion barrels per day off of the global market.
But here's the reality. That's really not true when it comes to American gas prices, because the great benefit of energy independence under President Trump is that we were not reliant on Russian oil. We didn't import any. Only Joe Biden made us that way. And with his continued war on energy, oil companies are certainly hesitant to invest in new drilling operations here in the United States if they can even get the permits to do it, which they can't. So now gas prices are over $4 in all 50 states for the first time in American history. The last 3 states to join the dark side were Oklahoma, Georgia, and Kansas, which all crossed that threshold Tuesday. JP Morgan's predicting $6 a gallon gas soon enough. It is so bad, Energy Secretary Jen Granholm isn't even bothering to sugarcoat it.
Is it fair to say perhaps $5, $6?
I think they're going to definitely remain above $4 per gallon. And you're going into the driving season in summer, which historically, obviously, also creates that upward pressure on prices.
Should consumers expect gas prices to get worse before they get better?
Honestly, I think they will continue to rise a bit.
Continue to rise a bit. Have no fear. That's what they're basically telling you. What does that mean? It's only getting worse from here. Does anyone in this cabinet even pretend to do their jobs? It is said that uncertainty stifles investment. I'm one of the guys who say it all the time. No one likes uncertainty. But with this administration, there is no uncertainty, okay? We are all very certain that Team Biden wants all fossil fuels eliminated. Again, this kind of out-of-touch talk scares away investors.
We accelerate the move to clean energy because ultimately a move to clean energy is the homegrown, secure kind of energy that will make us independent.
It'll also make you broke. Here's the problem. This green energy push is all talk. Oh, a few wind turbines here or there, big whoop. The goal now is to push people to very expensive electric cars, which most Americans can't afford, where, of course, we will rely on China to make the batteries for those cars. How much sense does that make? None. Going all out green will break us. Republicans see what's happening. The public should too.
AAA is projecting that gas prices will hit a national average of $6 a gallon by the month of August. Is this acceptable to you?
No, it is not. And you can thank the activity of Vladimir Putin for invading Ukraine and pulling essentially those barrels.
With all due respect, Madam Secretary, that's utter nonsense. Here's what your president did when he first came to office. He immediately re-entered the Paris Climate Accord. He canceled the Keystone Pipeline. He halted leasing programs in Anwar. He issued a 60-day halt on all new oil and gas leases and drilling permits on federal lands and waters. He imposed new regulations on oil and gas and methane emissions. Those were all just in the first few days.
If that doesn't knock you over, what does? Thank you, Senator Hawley. Joe Biden did all those things. And on top of all of those irresponsible decisions by Team Biden that Senator Hawley just listed, we learned that Team Biden has canceled issuing permits to drill in 3 very important oil and gas fields. They're in Alaska and the Gulf of Mexico. So instead of calling on U.S. oil producers, Joe Biden turns to Venezuela for help. Venezuela is an adversary, to say the least, of the United States and a strong ally of Russia. That's who we turn to. Joe Biden would rather enrich and enable our enemies than ease the pain of his own people.